Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to my channel. I just want to say before we get into this video, I appreciate all the support that I've received on the latest videos. As I've mentioned before, they're not going to be like the most entertaining, obviously, because we're in a lockdown at the minute, so there's only so much I can get content-wise, like training and just from not being in my house. So yeah, hopefully when the gym's open soon, there's content I'll pick up because I can just record so much more that's better to watch rather than just me sat in this chair. As I said last week, this week's video is going to be on cutting. I'm still going to touch on what my plan is to cut, but I'm going to go over how to cut in general for those of you that don't know out there. So let's get straight into it. Right, so the first step you want to do when you want to cut is you need to find out your maintenance calories. Now, if you just literally go onto Google and type in calorie maintenance calculator, there's plenty of options that come up. Just click one of the top ones I would suggest, and then have information you need to put in there, such as your height, weight, activity level, or stuff like that. And then once you generate that, it will give you a maintenance amount. As amount of calories you'll burn each day from not doing an excess of exercise. That's how many calories you've burned from basically just being alive. So obviously you need to eat in a calorie deficit to lose body fat. So what I suggest from that number, subtract about 300 to 500 calories from that number, and then you want to eat at about that amount. So for me, my calorie maintenance level is about 2,750. So I'm looking to eat about 2,300 to 2,400 tops every day. That's the first step. So once you have that calorie amount you need to intake per day, you always want to be sure you're in a deficit, because otherwise, you might not know how many calories you're eating. You might be eating more than you think. So a really good way to track this is using MyFitnessPal. You probably already know of that app, but it's just an easy way. You can scan the barcodes on like packaging labels, and you can easily just track your macros and calories through that, so you can see each day how much you're consuming. You have an accurate and realistic time frame as well. 8 to 12 weeks for a good cut is probably the most like normal time frame. I'm going to be doing 12 weeks because I'm going to be doing it leading into summer, starting from the Monday just gone. So I'm uploading this on the Wednesday, and I would have started 2 days ago. On the Monday, I'm going to run that for 12 weeks going into the summer. So yeah. Next, you want to make sure your training plan is absolutely spot on, and if you're going to be adding extra cardio in. If you're in a deficit, you do not need extra cardio. You are going to lose weight, and you are going to lose body fat. If you're in a deficit, it's simple as calories in, calories out, or thermodynamics. Like, it's as simple as that. If you want to lose weight, you have to be in a deficit. If you want to gain weight, you need to be in a surplus over that maintenance level. So you won't need cardio, but if you want to do cardio on top, obviously that's going to burn more calories, meaning you're in a bigger deficit, which obviously means you're going to lose weight quicker. So I'm going to add probably 2 to 3 times a week moderate cardio at about 100 to 200 calories burn, which is not a lot at all, but just a little bit here and there, because I'm going to be weight training. I don't want to do any excessive cardio that will affect my weight training. So for me, my training is going to stay the same weights wise, because it's really working for me. I'm still going to be lifting heavy and lifting a lot, so that tied in my diet, I should be still building muscle in a deficit, because that is possible. A big thing as well, which people don't realise, is the consistency. Like, consistency will beat everything in the long run. If you're just doing sessions here and there, and you're eating a deficit a few days, and then you have cheat days and all that sort of stuff, then you're not going to cut properly. People think as well, like, you have to cut out all your favourite foods, cut out sweets, chocolate, all this stuff. If it fits in your calories for the day, you don't have to cut it out. I think by cutting all that food out makes that temptation even harder, and will make the whole process even harder for you. Like, for example, some of the food you like, some of the snacks you like, won't actually be that high in calories. So if you wake up later one day and you still need to get X amount of calories in, and you can fit that into your protein intake and calories for the day, then have some of your favourite foods, because otherwise you're going to wait 12 weeks for all your favourite foods, and you're going to be so tempted to eat those and cheat and go over your calorie amount, and it's just not going to be worth it. So just try. Sometimes if you do wake up later, you can fit those in, as long as obviously your protein's still high and you're below the maintenance amount, then that's fine. I have planned a new diet for myself, so what I'm going to do, probably the next video will be another full day of eating, but the cut-in edition, and I'll show you the new diet that I have for that. Also as well, in your diet, you want to make sure, again, you're in that deficit, but you also want to have that protein intake. The same protein intake as I've mentioned before in previous videos, of 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if your protein is high and at that level, you can still gain muscle and you'll retain the muscle you already have, whilst losing body fat. So you're sort of building muscle and losing body fat. Obviously, it takes longer to build muscle than it does to lose fat, so the weight is going to come down, but it's going to be good weight that you're losing. It's going to be that fat that strips off your body, not your muscle. So as I said, you want to make sure that protein intake is high and you're in a calorie deficit. A few tips and tricks would be just to follow your own diet, really. Follow the diet that works for you. That's what Greg just said. So here's by. You can look up, fat loss diets, all these different diets online. But if they're foods you're not enjoying and foods you don't like, then you're going to be miserable and it's not going to be worth it. I planned my own diet and went to my local supermarket, Asda, and just saw like what sort of stuff they sell, what I like, and put together different meals which fit into that calorie amount, because I know I'm going to be enjoying those meals. And that's going to keep me happy, and also I'm going to get, well, hopefully get shredded in the process as well. So, if you're doing a diet that you don't like, then there's no point, because you're just going to be miserable, and that just outweighs the benefit you're going to get from losing weight. So don't do that at all. Another tip and trick I give as well is drink a lot of water, because the more water you drink, the more it's going to suppress your appetite, because it's going to tell your mind that you're more full. So you're not going to be as hungry as you normally would if you didn't drink as much. So maybe with every meal have a glass of water as well. Drink that, so it's going to fill you up even more, so that hunger craving goes away. Especially late into the night, for me, I feel like I get really, really hungry in the night. Just going to go over a quick sort of overview of all of that. So you want to find out that maintenance calorie amount. I want to subtract about 300 to 500 from that, and you want to eat at that amount per day. Use that MyFitnessPal app. That's probably the easiest way to track the calories. As I said, you can literally scan the barcode on the back of all the packaging and enter like how many grams of this you've had, or how many servings or whatever, to track all of that. So once you eat in a deficit, once you're training hard as well, obviously if you want to gain that muscle and retain the muscle, you need to be training as well as eating with that high protein amount. So train hard as always with that diet, and you should see results in no time. So as well, having that plan. For me, I've set out mentally 12 weeks, so you don't just want to cut for however long. That plan ahead of you, so you know how long you're going to be going for. And specifically for me, my plan is to cut for those 12 weeks, and I'm sort of going to lean bulk from then through the rest of the end of summer, autumn, and winter, and then back to this time next year. I hope that video was useful. That's just a quick overview of what cutting is, really. Videos out there and posts these days where they say you can do this skinny tea diet, a liquid diet, or these stupid exercises that will burn belly fat, burn whatever fat. Like, you can't spot reduce fat for a start. You can't just burn belly fat or burn arm fat or something. If you're burning fat, it's going to come off your arms. If you're doing arm exercises, if you're in a calorie deficit, that's the only way you can lose fat. Doing ab workouts, doing cardio is not going to burn fat unless you are in that deficit, and you won't lose weight unless you're in that deficit. So that is the main goal you need to achieve if you are looking to cut weight, is that calorie deficit. And it's not actually as hard as people make it out it is. Like I said, if you make a diet that works for you, and a diet that you enjoy, then it's not going to be a hard process. You're going to actually enjoy the process. Whereas if you're following these diets online, food you don't like and meals you don't like, and you're going to be miserable for the whole time, and it's not worth it. Just want to say as well, I'm not actually a qualified PT. I'm just trying to give advice out there that I've learned over the past couple of years throughout my fitness journey that might help some of you out there. So if you do have any questions, if you want to just message me on my Instagram, which is linked below, I can help you out there, because I do have some experience with this sort of stuff. So yeah, I'd be more than happy to help if you have questions. But yeah, that's my plan. Cut for 12 weeks. See what I look like in 12 weeks. Hopefully more lean than I do now, because I bulked up for so long. And then I'll release that cutting video next week of the full day of eating throughout the cut. And then we'll go from there. Hopefully gym's open soon and I can get training content out there and probably grow my socials and stuff, because I'm getting bored of staying in the house and just doing the same thing. So I'm looking forward to that. If you did like this video, drop a like, subscribe, comment, follow the channel. More videos to come, video every week as usual, Wednesday at 7 PM. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.